Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the time?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The LA Sparks got another W Sunday night. The Sparks' 94-91 win last night over the Seattle Storm is their 10th win in the last 13 games. Derica Hamby converted a layup with 5.6 seconds left in the fourth quarter to seal it. The Sparks at 15-16 have a chance to reach 500 for the first time since May 18th. They play the defending WNBA champs, the New York Liberty, Tuesday night at Crypto.com Arena. The Chargers are 2-0 in the preseason after beating New Orleans 27-13. The star of the game was Chargers rookie cornerback Eric Rodgers from Rutgers. Rodgers had 2 interceptions. He ran back 43 yards for a touchdown. The Chargers play the Rams Saturday afternoon at SoFi. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford is scheduled to practice Monday for the first time in training camp if he's healthy. Stafford is trying to recover from a slipped disc in his lower back. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley show conversation with James Falk. James said something that caught me off guard. Black Altadena is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Dramatics today, Doc? Is that we doing the dramatics? Welcome back home.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, brother. Nobody like him. You deserve Not really.
It's Cornel West because it's Monday and at the top of every second hour on Mondays and Thursdays, we are pleased to bring you this iteration of Smiley and West. I should say on the B side of this hour, Julie Sue, former Secretary of the U.S. Labor Department, will be our guest. But again, as always, at the top of the second hour, it's Cornel West, Smiley and West on Mondays and Thursdays. You heard me earlier, Doc. When I needed you in the first hour, you nowhere around. I thought you told me you'd never leave me or forsake me, man. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Jesus. That wasn't you. That was Jesus.
My spirit is always with you, brother, but the Holy Ghost is always deeper than my spirit. You're right about that.
Did you hear any of the first
dialogue you had?
You heard the first
hour? I heard every word of it.
All right, so just give me
every word.
Give me your quick download,
I loved it.
Give me your quick download, yeah.
Well, I mean, the fascinating thing is that Brother Adolph Reed, he's a genius, though, brother. I may not always agree with the brother, but he's a bona fide genius. And may not always come across on the radio, but on the page, he's just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Kenneth Warren is a significant and a crucial, very important voice, not just in literary criticism, but in Afro-American history. But both of them put class at the center of their analysis, and so they always want to resist anyone who talks about race matters without talking about capitalism, without talking about class, and without talking about imperialism. And I agree with them wholeheartedly. But when you came back and said, well, if in fact you all are downplaying white animus or vicious legacies of white supremacy and so forth, then you were right on the mark too. And Brother Adolph acknowledged, oh no, we understand the significance of the depths of racism in America. So the black folk get there in New Orleans, you got to come to terms with the fact that we have been and remain a hated and terrorized people, both because we're black, but also the organized greed is concerned about making sure that they have control over our labor. That is the ruling class. Ain't no doubt about it. And the empire is always concerned about making sure we go through the army first when they finally let us in the army to fight their wars and then get back here and get to worry about getting lynched or get worried about the police hunting us down. So that when Brother Adolph said, well, we may not be really disagreeing as much as you think, it's true. And the beautiful thing is, man, all four of us would be slow dancing under the purple light to the dramatics for the rest of our lives. I can tell you that. You know, when I got on the plane, man, and ran into Snoop Dogg about 15 years ago, and he said, Brother West, I gave him a big hug. And he said, man, I love you because I know dramatics is your number one group, and it's my number one group, my precious mama's number one group. He said, there's two kind of black people, those who put dramatics number one or those who put the Temptations number one. We love both of them. But Snoop said, you have to make a choice. And he showed up at my lecture that night in Houston. I had him come on up on the stage, and we had a good time. So there is something about being able to come on home and get being fortified, getting your armor in place culturally, spiritually, and then having that kind of rich political debate about black dignity and black freedom. But class is very important. Capitalism is crucial. Imperialism is crucial. You acknowledge that. But the vicious legacy of white supremacy, brother, that cuts so deep and so thick can never, ever be denied.
My read of this, and I could be wrong, so you tell me your viewpoint. My read of this, though, is that when we talk about race and class, that line, that distinction is getting less and less visible for me as time goes on. They are separate issues, and you can't discuss one without discussing the other. But they morph so much these days. When you talk about race or class, black folk are still at the bottom of the well.
No, that's true. That's very true. But the difference is this, though, brother Tavis. Right. In the last 50 years, where you got the rise of the black bourgeoisie, the rise of the black upper class, highly educated class. They are where they are because of the struggle of the masses of black people who themselves are still wrestling with poverty, wrestling with underemployment, and wrestling with decrepit schools and unavailable child care and so forth. So there's been a slice of black people who've been breakdancing to the bank, and the masses of black folks standing outside the bank probably thinking, should we rob it? No, we ain't gonna rob it. But we broke the Ten Commandments financially. We don't have access to resources. And when we talk about racial progress, as long as they look at the black middle class, they think all black people are doing well. No, you know and I know that's not the case. You got mass incarceration. You got hoods. You got decrepit schools. You got discrimination in the workplace. not just racially based, but also based on education, a whole host of other things. And so all of those issues need to be taken into consideration, which means something that you say all the time: there is no homogeneous, monolithic conception of the black community. Mm-hmm. There never has been, and there's not. But under fascism, when black people, we are attacked as a people, then it downplays the class divisions. Just like it downplays the gender divisions, too.
No, I received that. You're listening to Smiley and West on Tavis Smiley.
From Leimert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
Some things can steal your sunshine.
Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
There's one question every couple needs to answer. What if something happens to us? Kids, a house, a life you've built. But no estate plan? That's a risk you don't want to take. With Trust and Will, it's fast, secure, and easy to protect what matters most. Start your plan today at trustandwill.com. Use code RADIO to save 20%. Check it off your list. One less thing to worry about. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will. You gotta dip your chicken strips. Hey, this is Kiani.
And this is Tabitha.
And a little thing we love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips
is all the different sauces we can dip them in. I like to line up all my favorite sauces so that in every bite, I have a different flavor. Then, with the tenderness of the chicken, the juiciness of it, it's all there.
And for me, I like to mix my sauces so I get a little tang and I get a little sweetness all in one bite.
That's what makes it for me. That's what does it for me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Cornel West. It's Monday, and always, again, the top of the second hour. Delighted to be in conversation with Dr. West. Donald Trump has announced, as you have probably seen all over the news now, that he is federalizing police in D.C. and deploying National Guard troops. Take a listen.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly.
We are being heard right now, Dr. West, as you know, on WOL in Washington, D.C., WOLB in Baltimore. But I didn't know it was Liberation Day in D.C., did you?
No, I didn't get that memo, and I probably didn't need to get that memo, brother, because when you're dealing with one of the most lawless presidents talking about law and order, then you know you're dealing with a thickness of hypocrisy that is difficult to come to terms with. So that, but look like Trump is talking about Liberation Day every 2 or 3 months. He just had Liberation Day just a couple of months ago, didn't he? When he talked about tariffs. Now it's Liberation Day again. You say, "Oh, okay." We have to be very cognizant of the fact that one people's liberation is another people's subjugation.
I said it in the first hour today, and this is not lost on me, and I suspect, excuse me, it's not lost in this audience either. He continues to put upon, I'm sure there's more to it than this. I don't want to be, reductionist or too surface here, too prima facie, but he sent troops to L.A. with a black woman mayor, as it turns out, and we didn't want them. And now he's sending troops. There are troops as we speak on the streets, National Guard's troops on the streets in D.C. Another black woman mayor there, and she didn't want it either. I don't want to overread it, but I don't want to underread it either, Doc.
Oh, no, I think you read it right. I think that part of the gangsterization of the country, and that's very much what Trump is doing. He's a gangster himself, so he proceeds in a gangster-like way. But part of the gangsterization of the country, which means he can say and do anything he wants and get away with it, but others have to be somehow obedient when he wants them to be obedient. They have to follow the law when he wants them to follow the law. But when the law comes down on him, it's rigged or it's personal vengeance or whatever rationalization he has on it. But anytime you're going against the truth, because this is just not an attack on black people, you see.
Yeah.
But this is an attack on truth and justice. We have to always keep that moral and spiritual dimension there so everything is not racialized. We know that white supremacy is as real as a heart attack in America and expanding all the time. That's what fascists do. But it's truth and justice that he's also attacking, you see. So when they attack black poor people or black middle class folk with DEI, we have to put up on our banner, we are defending truth and justice in the name of the dignity and beauty of black people.
Yeah.
And that's crucial because we have to preserve a spiritual moral dimension in our movement because it is totally lacking in that of not just Trump, but there's elements of the Democratic Party that have to be called into question, too. They don't have a strong moral and spiritual dimension. They just playing a little political game, too. They're not as bad as Trump's gangsterism, but they got their own kind of gangsterism. And, of course, when it comes to foreign policy, we won't even talk about Gaza. We won't even talk about Sudan. We won't even talk about Haiti. Both parties agree on the unbelievable war crimes that are taking place there,
Yeah. Historically, what to your mind, Doc, are the takeaways for how to fight back when, to your point, truth and justice are under attack?
Well, I tell you though, brother, one of the important things about welcome back home, you got to go back to your history, your culture, your family, your community, and allow the love and courage and integrity that was poured into you to be manifest in your words and deeds. You see, you can't simply be so obsessed with gangsters like Trump that you're just reacting to him. No, we are proceeding out of a rich tradition in opposition to him. That's very much part of what 803 Freshers Boots on the Ground is all about, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Kicking up dust. Where them fans at?
Mm-hmm.
Cowgirls. He's taking us back home for a sense of community so we could get fortified and get our armors together in order to then re-engage and fight. So all of this dance lines that you see all across Black America, a sense of community and connection and relation, that's not just Negroes dancing to a rhythm together. That is a spiritual yearning for a sense of community in order to get fortified to deal with this gangsterism that's coming at us. And it's been coming at us for 400 years, and we have always had to get armored spiritually, armored morally, and politically. Now, in the end, it's also true that Brother Adolph and Brother Kenneth are right. You're going to have some multiracial coalition, because when you raise the banner of truth and justice, other people can be attracted to truth and justice who are not Black. Mm-hmm. That's what Martin understood. That's what Fannie Lou Hamer understood. That's what A. Philip Randolph understood. Malcolm understood it in his last years. James Baldwin understood it, and so forth. But on the other hand, it's going to have to be under the auspices of a commitment to truth and justice. And who has been in the vanguard of that? Well, there's been a whole lot of Black folk who've been in the vanguard of that, though, brother.
Yeah. I sense, I want to be wrong about this, I sense, though, that in this moment, not enough of those people that you just referenced believe even that they have the agency to fight back.
Well, that's crucial, though, brother. And that's where we got to convince Black folk that that's a lie. We always have agency. We always have the capacity to act, to think, to fight, to resist, to bear witness, but most importantly, to love. Because love is the highest form of agency, and it's only when you love Black people that you're willing to tell the truth and die for them. Those are the freest people in our community. We were talking this weekend when we went to see our brother Crouch, Kenneth Crouch, ran into the manager of Atlantic Star. It's a fragile situation.
Fall apart at any time.
Your heart isn't in it.
Yeah.
You say, oh, that brother, he's sharpest brother at the gathering that we went to. But what did we see? We saw Black beauty, Black dignity, Black sophisticated gut bucket sensibility. Anytime you get free Black folk, you know there's a threat to a white supremacist status quo and a capitalist status quo for those conscious Black folk who understand the relations of race and class and gender as well.
Yeah. I guess the question is whether or not in this moment it is enough.
Oh, no, it's not enough. No. We losing at the moment now.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
There you go.
We losing. Yeah. Oh, ain't no doubt about that. But we've been losing for a long, long time.
Yeah.
The question is, loss doesn't mean permanent failure. Loss doesn't mean you give up or sell out or give in. No, loss means you become even more committed and more convicted. That's the crucial thing.
Yeah. What's to your point now? What is your critique of Black leadership in this moment?
It's too cowardly. It's too well adjusted to the unjust status quo. It's too obsessed with status and position. It's too driven by money. It's too driven by status and not a deep commitment and service to the people. And this is where the legacy of the Martin Kings and the Fannie Lou Hamers and others come in, that they were not people driven by money, status, position. They were driven by love and service. Now, they had some money. They had some position. There's no doubt about that. But they didn't have a whole lot of it. But they made the choice between love of money versus love of people and justice.
But what if, again, want to be wrong about this, but what if we are not our ancestors? Irene Bias West, Reverend West, I could do both.
Joyce.
That's a high standard, man. That's a high standard. What if we are not our ancestors? Yeah.
Oh no, we ain't gonna meet that standard, brother. No, if you and I in the jazz club playing saxophone, we're not going to meet standard of Coltrane or Charlie Parker. We understand that. Wynton understands that in terms of Louis Armstrong, right? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean Wynton don't stop blowing.
Yeah.
Keep blowing, Wynton. lift your voice the way the Johnson brothers. I'm talking about the Johnson brothers from Florida, not the brothers Johnson from Los Angeles now. We loved them, and they
loved them too. Yeah.
But we talk about Rosamond and James Weldon.
Yeah.
But no, we're not going to meet the standards of Joyce Smiley and Irene B. West and Clifton West. I don't even meet standards of my brother, Clifton West the third. Oh, no. If I had to meet his standards, I'd have to just give up. But he loving me enough to keep pushing me and encouraging me to reach the highest standard I can reach. Yeah. And Winton's high standard, it's still high now.
No.
But it ain't Louis. He knows that.
Yeah.
You and I, we've been reaching for 40 years together, making the world safe for Martin Luther King Jr. Ain't no doubt about that. But we ain't gonna catch up with Joyce Smiley and Irene B. West, though, brother.
But that's what scares me, though. It feels like that's what we need to meet the moment.
Well, but the truth is, though, is that even the high standards that we're talking about of Martin King and John Coltrane, black folk were still losing then.
Yeah, that's true.
We had breakthroughs.
Yeah.
And they were strong, but they were losing then. There's no doubt about it. When L.J. Reynolds and Ron Banks were blowing Welcome Back Home with the background singers in the Dramatics, 1980,
they were losing
that's
then.
Reagan, brother.
Yeah, I got
Reagan,
you.
man. That's Reagan.
No, you're right.
But we still had a dignity and a beauty about us that could never be crushed, even if we were losing at the moment. That's what's so beautiful about the greatness of black people.
I guess what's so disenchanting is that I don't know that any other group of people have to refight the same fights time and time again.
Well, yeah, that's a good
we're
point,
perennially fighting the same fights, man. And it again, as we sang in my Pentecostal church, I'm gonna run on and see what the end is gonna be. I'm not giving up. Don't get it twisted. You know, I'm not gonna stop running. But it's beyond disenfranchising, emotionally, politically, spiritually, psychologically, to keep refighting these same fights. But I digress. Doc said earlier, we started with the dramatics, and we're gonna close with boots on the ground. That's what we need right now. more than ever.
Thank you, 803 Fresh. We thank you, brother.
Doc, I love you.
Soul.
I love you. I'll talk to you on Thursday, man.
All right.
All right.
Let your body move. Cowboys and cowgirls, they're feeling that groove. Sipping on moonshine, fire barrel rolling. I'ma get behind that thing, girl, and hold it. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Got my boots on the ground. Yes, sir. Lord have mercy. Oh, got my boots on the ground. You got good knees, cause we gon' get it up. Everybody's dancing to that juke joint love. Hold on to your wig, hold on to your man, cause the steppers in that building, y'all, and they throwing the fan. Come on. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Got my boots on the ground. Yeah. Oh, 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 got my boots on the ground, baby. Wait a minute.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. President Trump is announcing a major crackdown on crime in the nation's capital. Speaking at the White House this morning, he said he will, quote, rescue, end quote, Washington, D.C.
Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act and placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control.
Trump is activating the National Guard to help local law enforcement as a part of his plan. An investigation is continuing into the death of a black Wake County teen whose body was found in Florida after being missing for more than a week. Authorities confirm the remains of 18-year-old Giovanni Pelletier were discovered Friday in a retention pond. Pelletier was traveling with his family and left with a cousin. The teen reportedly texted his mother, "Help me." An autopsy is being performed to determine the exact cause of death. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The LA Sparks got another W Sunday night. The Sparks' 94-91 win last night over the Seattle Storm is their 10th win in the last 13 games. Darica Hamby converted a layup with 5.6 seconds left in the fourth quarter to seal it. The Sparks at 15-16 have a chance to reach 500 for the first time since May 18th. They play the defending WNBA champs, the New York Liberty, Tuesday night at Crypto.com Arena. The Chargers are 2-0 in the preseason after beating New Orleans 27-13. The star of the game was Chargers rookie cornerback Eric Rodgers from Rutgers. Rodgers had 2 interceptions. He ran back 43 yards for a touchdown. The Chargers play the Rams Saturday afternoon at SoFi. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford is scheduled to practice Monday for the first time in training camp if he's healthy. Stafford is trying to recover from a slipped disc in his lower back. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed. A conversation now with Julie Sue, former Labor Secretary, on the latest jobs report, how close we may be to a recession and Trump firing folk because he doesn't like their numbers. Secretary Sue, good to have you on. How are you today?
Hi, Tavis. It's great to be with you.
It is great to hear your voice and great to have you on this program. Let me just ask broadly, and we'll narrow it as we move through the moments that we have here. But broadly speaking, what's your read of Donald Trump and labor policy right about now?
Well, I would say that he is waging a full-on war on working people. At every turn, he has shown that he is destroying the economy. He has taken what was historic job growth in the 4 years prior and really put us on a path to destruction. And he's doing things that hurt ordinary Americans the most so that he can pad the pockets of his billionaire friends. And it's really an outrage. You know, Donald Trump is the only president in modern history to have left office with fewer jobs than he came in with. That was in his first term. And he is now on track to repeat that same disaster. And, you know, it's not just right. Like it's terrible in terms of like his lack of leadership, his lies, his but the people who really hurt are everyday Americans, right? Everybody knows what a good job does. People want to work, they need to work. A good job changes lives, it lifts up communities, it creates intergenerational wealth, and he is taking that promise away from Americans every single day.
How long, to your point, Secretary Sue, before these regressive policies end up impacting the working people who make up his base, those people who thought he'd be a better steward of the economy?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I think it's already affecting them, right? So what happened this last jobs report is the Bureau of Labor Statistics puts out data every month on jobs, how many jobs have been created, what industries are growing, how long people have been unemployed, whether people are in the labor market, things that help us understand the health of our economy, things that actually move markets. You have businesses decide whether they should expand or contract. You know, should I invest in that new piece of equipment? Should I hire more workers? It's used by government like the Social Security Administration to determine how much cost of living adjustments to be made for benefits. Like people depend on accurate numbers. And the problem is the numbers are bad for Donald Trump because his policies are bad, right? It turns out complete chaos is not a substitute for good economic policy. When you want, decide whether you're going to raise a tariff or put a tax on someone or go after somebody and investigate them based on who last offended your fragile ego, it doesn't lead to a strong, stable economy. That's why the jobs data was bad. Donald Trump doesn't like that, right? He has a problem with the truth. And so instead of looking at data like that, like any good leader would, well, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to do differently? How can I change course? He said, I hate the numbers. Let's find someone who's going to help me sell my lies. And that's the situation that we're in, Tavis.
So what happens when you don't like the numbers and you start firing people, which leads people to believe that now you're going to start cooking the books, as it were?
Exactly.
But ultimately, what happens in a democracy when you can't trust the data that government gives you?
Right. So there's a glimmer of hope in all this, and it comes from where hope always comes from, right? Which is everyday people doing the right thing, fulfilling their oaths, doing the jobs that they know how to do. The numbers are collected by career staff, federal employees who are experts in the work. They know what they're doing. Many of them have done it for a very long time, and they are not beholden to party or politics. Their job is by nature, it's apolitical, it's nonpartisan. It's collecting information, collecting it accurately, and then putting it out there so people can understand it and use it. And they will continue to try to hold the line. But the problem is that this president has not only fired political appointees because they tell him the truth, He's also taken a hatchet to the federal government, right? He has, through his, on again, off again buddy Elon Musk, destroyed federal government service. And that's, talk about a good job, right? That has been a job that has helped put millions of people into the middle class, millions of families into economic security, a job with decent hours, with good benefits, and with a mission that allows people to contribute to their communities. And now those employees have been terrorized under Donald Trump, right? They've been, reductions in force, that mass firing of probationary employees, constantly vilifying them and saying that they don't know what they're doing and they're lazy. All of these things are the backdrop, are the context to all of this. So that's one thing, is the numbers will hold as long as federal employees are allowed to do their jobs. But they've been threatened and made miserable. But the other problem is what you said.
Yeah.
When the numbers cannot be relied upon, it really creates terrible economic insecurity in this country. It means on the global stage, people just cannot trust the United States. We cannot trust what we say, cannot trust what we do. And this is going to create massive havoc on the global economic scale. It's going to mean that people cannot make smart decisions. It's going to mean that as the economy takes a downturn, we're flying blind, and it's going to mean that we can, hit a recession faster and that it'll last longer, and a whole bunch of things that we should easily be able to avoid if we had a leader who was interested in actually leading.
I want to come back to the recession piece in a second here, but and there's I'm going to ask this first, Secretary Sue. There's no naivete in this question, and I think you'll take why I'm asking it. I'm thinking of Georgia. We all recall when Donald Trump told them to find me the numbers. Find me the numbers that I need in Georgia. And the numbers just weren't there. So Donald Trump fires somebody and brings somebody else in and basically tells them to find me the numbers because I didn't like the numbers they gave me last month. How do you find numbers that aren't there? What does that really mean?
Yeah. Well, this is what is truly terrifying and it's infuriating. We have seen that because Donald Trump has a, you bow to me or you're out approach to everything he does, he's being enabled by a bunch of people around him. And he already found someone who walked into the Oval Office, created a bunch of charts, and said they were based on new data that no one has ever seen before. You can't just make stuff up and call it new data that no one's ever seen before, right? But he's going to try, and it is such an abuse of power. It's such an abuse of his office. It's such an offense to everybody who has ever, cared about the truth, right? Help to tell the truth. I do believe that the American people are smarter than that. The world is smarter than that. I mean, he's already, people are finding other ways to do business without him, right? To keep him out of rooms because he can't be trusted when he speaks. I think that will do damage, though, to the United States over the long run. And it will do damage first and foremost to U.S. workers, right?
Yeah.
When the economy is bad, when we see recessions, workers are hurt. And oftentimes, Black workers are the first to be fired and the last to be hired. And we saw in these last jobs numbers that the Black unemployment rate spiked. It spiked to 7%.
Yep.
It's always been higher than the average unemployment rate, right? That is a problem of systemic racism. It's a problem of discrimination in the labor market, right? There's a whole host of reasons why that is the case. And we took that very seriously in the last administration to do everything we could to address it. And as a result of that, the Black-white unemployment gap closed to the smallest it has ever been. It has now widened again. And that tells us that, right, when you run government through racism, you're also going to have a devastating effect on those who have been shut out for too long.
It's also the case, we discussed this on our program last week, as I recall, it's also the case, Secretary Sue, as you well know, that Black people are the canary in the mine.
Yeah.
When you see the numbers of unemployment rise that high, it portends something not so nice about the economy to come, namely that we may be headed toward a recession. When we come forward, I want to ask you what that high number for Black joblessness says to you about where we're headed economically. Again, Black people tend to be the canary in the coal mine. And then I want to just understand, because I don't even get this myself, so I want to make sure that you explain this to me and to folks in the audience as well. And that is, what does impact? What in fact does happen? What are the? How might I put this? What are the consequences and repercussions of lying to the American people about the jobs numbers? So you get so somebody gives you numbers that you want, but those numbers are inaccurate. Economically speaking, help me understand what it means when we are lied to with regard to what employment and unemployment really does look like in the country. What are the repercussions of that? We're talking to former Labor Secretary Julie Su right now on Tavis Smile.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has worksource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431, and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
He's a paradigm pioneer and the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Tavis Smiley and Julie Su, former Labor Secretary. Secretary Su, how did you read the exponential growth of that black unemployment number?
Yeah, I mean, you said it yourself, Tavis. These numbers are all stories of real life people, people who are looking for a job and can't find one, people who have lost a job and therefore are experiencing the pain and insecurity of unemployment. These are real people. We at the Century Foundation recently put out a poll that found that 1 in 4 Americans skipped a meal in the last month to save money. Over 40% in the last year tapped into their savings or took on debt to pay basic expenses. So people are living the trauma of the devastating economic policies of this administration. And for Black folks, this is something that has been going on for far too long, right? This is not something that just happened in the last, in the last year. But this goes to the question of like, what's the role of government? And when you have a government that's willing to do the things that need to be done to grow jobs, to make investments in the American people, to lift up wages, to support unions, to expand opportunity, it really does make a difference. And there was a 2019 McKinsey study that said that if we just closed the Black-white wealth gap, we would increase the United States GDP by 4 to 6%. It's a stunning statement about how if we took seriously real opportunity and opening up real opportunity and using the full talents of the American people, it's good for everybody. And that's always been the case. It turns out ending structural racism is good economic policy. And that is not what's happening today under this administration.
Not at all. When we come forward in our remaining moments with former Labor Secretary Julie Sewell, I'll ask her how close she thinks we are based on these numbers. She's not a prognosticator, I understand that, but based on where we are now, again, given that Black unemployment number and other indicators that we're looking at, how close are we to recession, number one? And then the question I posed earlier, we'll get to in our remaining moments with her, what are the consequences, what are the repercussions when the president has somebody giving him numbers that are just based on lies? What does that mean for the country economically? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good.
Yeah, man.
Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
You gotta dip your chicken strips. Hey, this is Kiani.
And this is Tabitha.
And a little thing we love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips
is all the different sauces we can dip them in. I like to line up all my favorite sauces so that in every bite, I have a different flavor. Then with the tenderness of the chicken, the juiciness of it, it's all there.
And for me, I like to mix my sauces so I get a little tang and I get a little sweetness all in one bite.
That's what makes it for me. Like, that's what does it for me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project.
Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu!
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada. Member FDIC.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley, former Labor Secretary Julie Sewell. So based on what you're looking at, how legitimate are the fears that we keep reading about vis-a-vis recession?
Look, the data is not good. Unemployment is up. Inflation is up. If you remember, one of Donald Trump's promises was to bring down prices on day one. Mm-hmm. He's failed at that. Yep. Manufacturing is down, which is often also an indicator. He promised to grow manufacturing jobs, and manufacturing jobs hit a 10-year low. under his watch. And so jobs are down, and that's never good. And I think the reality now is that many, he has such a view of the world, of our country, as ever narrowing, right? There's not enough for everybody, but he's also making that true by decreasing the whole pie, right? He's got this whole thing of, everyone's trying to take my slice of the pie. But when you actually create a bigger pie, right, everybody can benefit. That is not the kind of leadership that he brings. And so I think that it does not look good, and people are already feeling it. And that's why the voices of everybody calling him out and holding him accountable and saying, we will not believe your lies. We're going to believe our bank accounts. We're going to believe our pocketbooks. We're going to believe, what we see is so important in this moment.
You referenced earlier, although not by name, I will do it by name, that Heritage Foundation person who Trump rushed into the Oval Office last week and then rushed the White House media pool into the Oval Office to hear their presentation about some numbers that no one has ever seen before. I mean, it's a mockery because the Labor Department, this is what they do, right? It's what they do. The Heritage Foundation is some outside conservative think tank, and somehow they have numbers that ain't nobody else ever seen, and they can come in and give us some nonsense about how great the economy is. It was just a joke on the surface, but I digress on that since you referenced it earlier. How could their outside numbers be more accurate than the actual labor numbers? Again, I don't have time to get into that nonsense. My question is simply this, and I think this may be the exit question with the 2 minutes I have left. What is the real world impact? What are the repercussions? What are the consequences of us being lied to about what the real job numbers are?
Yeah, I think it's at least two things. One is that there is no way to hold him accountable for what he is doing to the country, to the American people, to the working class, to communities, because he's turning off the scoreboard, right? He's making it so that there's no way to actually evaluate what he's doing, and there's no way for decent people, good people, people who want to, who want things to work, to actually use reliable information to try to avoid the economy going off a cliff. So that's one. But the second thing, Tavis, is I think it's not so much that he needs people to believe his numbers.
Right.
It's the constant lies creates a situation where it's impossible to tell what the truth is, right? People get exhausted by it, or they start to wonder, what exactly, who's telling the truth now, and is any of it reliable? And if we can't believe anything, then that gives rise to the ability, and this has been shown throughout history, right? The ability of people who want to consolidate power just for themselves to do it. Yeah. And you get into this, well, was there actually an insurrection on January 6th? Was the election stolen, right? Yeah. So it's much bigger than the economy. It's about truth and about reality and about how we avoid an authoritarian taking over.
And that's my greatest fear, Julie Sue, that when you can't trust the data, when they lie about the numbers, when nobody is telling the truth, then the suffering gets rendered invisible. That's the bottom line. Right. When the truth is not allowed to surface, the suffering of everyday people gets rendered invisible. That's what Donald Trump is trying to hide, and that's what we cannot abide. She's former Secretary of the U.S. Labor Department. She is Julie Sue, who I've been honored to have had on this program. Secretary Sue, thanks for your insights. Good to have you on.
Thank you so much. Great to be with you.
My great honor to have you. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. President Trump is announcing a major crackdown on crime in the nation's capital. Speaking at the White House this morning, he said he will, quote, rescue, end quote, Washington, D.C.
Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act and placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control.
Trump is activating the National Guard to help